All right, so what we're going to do today is I'm here to give you a little bit of an overview about the IT department, to talk about how we're organized, everything that we support and the services that we offer. And then Mardul will talk about citizen-based applications. And then Ivan is our expert to talk about 311 customer service, and we'll be here for some questions right after. So first, with the department overview, we're going to start with our vision. And I'm thinking, everyone's really excited to see a department vision, but just hang with me just for a moment, because this one's somewhat unique. So I started with the city 16 years ago. At that time, IT was very decentralized. Every department had its own IT staff, just taking care of its own applications, and we had a small core services team. Over the past 16 years, we've gone through a consolidation effort, bringing all those positions into one department, just to better serve the city, to have more depth in certain positions. And we came together and we developed what we call our digital strategy. And that's basically a strategic plan for the department, and we came up with this vision. And I looked at it the other day and said, you know what, this is actually true to this day. This is our guiding light. Everything we do is to engage, empower, and to improve the lives of the citizens of Sacramento. And we do that directly, which these two gentlemen will be talking about right after me, but we also do that indirectly because we support all of the technology in the departments and all of the modernization that they've gone through over the last few years, or decades, I should say. And we also build trusted partnerships, to deliver solutions. And we've done that through Verizon PPP in the past. We became one of the first 5G cities in the nation. We've also done that with the United Way during the pandemic, partnering with them to disperse Wi-Fi devices and computers to the most in need. And then as well, we're doing it in the future. We're looking to build out through grant opportunities and through partnerships with internet service providers, to building out internet to the underserved and unserved communities in in Sacramento, bringing that to the last mile, connecting them up so they can have high-speed internet access. So this is how we are organized. We're about like 205 employees right now. And we run about 10% vacancy, some hard to fill positions that are always out there, but around 205 right now. And what makes us unique is on the right-hand side of this org chart is 311 and Ivan. So that's unique to the city of Sacramento, having 311 call center under IT. And many years ago, it was under the Department of General Services, that unit, and they dissolved, and then that whole unit and division came over to IT, partly because of the technology behind the call center, and it was going through a modernization of technology at the same time, and it was just a marriage made in heaven, or at least that's what Ivan's told us. So we're really happy to have them. There are about 40 positions out of our 200. And then to the left of that is public safety. We are a full-service city, so that's police and fire. And we support all of their technology in their vehicles, which you'll see later. It's absolutely tremendous. All the technologies that the fire and police have on their body, as well as a 911 comm center. We also have utilities and GIS. Everything that GIS does is ingrained in all of our business decisions in the city. But they're really closely ingrained with utilities, so it was a good match there. And then regional support, which is our first line, our call center, our help desk for our employees. They also train our users, as well as manage all of our endpoints, computers, mobile devices. And then we have IT operations, is where I originally came from. And that's your underlying infrastructure. It's the network, it's the telecom, it's the servers, the storage, the database, all the data underneath all of the enterprise applications and all the services that we provide. And then one of our biggest growing units in the last few years is cybersecurity, because it's really important that we keep your data safe and our system safe. So that team has been growing over the years. And then the last part there is AV, which is audiovisual. That's the council chamber support for the boards and commission meetings and our council meetings every week. Enterprise apps is where Mardul comes from, And basically, anytime an application is used by more than one department, it eventually moves into enterprise applications. The biggest application there is our ERP, or Enterprise Resource Planning. That's the city's finance and human resources module. And then admin, which is just keeping us up to date, keeping us moving, our hires, all of the fiscal things that we need to do, our contracts, our project management is there, as well as leading our digital equity efforts. So I want to speak a little bit about how we became 200 employees. And we've grown quite a bit over the years. And it's partly because this is not unique to the city, but it's what's been going on with the rate of technology change in the world is this digital transformation. And what that really means is just adopting modern technology to improve services, right? And so we do that as a government as well. We're always looking for ways to be more efficient, to be transparent and cost effective. And we do that by modernizing. It's something simple as taking a manual process and actually automating those tasks, or taking paper documents, making them digital, creating a workflow, and sending it for digital signatures. And so that's been going on for a long time, and it really reached a new level during the pandemic when we were asked to now take thousands of employees and have them be able to work from home. Luckily enough, we had the tools already available, and we just needed to train our employees and kind of expand those tools. And during that time, we've automated a lot of work processes and workflows to really make things a lot easier and save money and time for our employees. So that leads me to, this is just a small view into the ecosystem of the things that we support in IT. And this is just a piece of it, but I just wanted to touch into a few of them just to understand the breadth of what we do. This relationship diagram will show you that there's 5,101 PCs or desktops that we support, keeping those up to date with security patches and updates and applications. And below that is servers. We have 577 servers that run all the applications for the departments. We're dipping our foot into the cloud slowly. We have 24 different cloud providers that we're customers of. At the top there, you see the cameras, CCTV cameras. This is a staggering number, and this continues to grow. 1,435 CCTV cameras in the city. Of those 1,400, 160 are pods, or police observation devices, which you probably have seen as you're going into an intersection. They have the blue flashing light on them. Those are actually for the police department. They have LPR, which is license plate recognition software in there. They also have police hot lists for stolen vehicles. So if you're driving a stolen vehicle anywhere, you do not want to drive by one of those, because it will notify the police department that a stolen vehicle has just crossed into that intersection. We also manage 2,380 mobile devices, and that's tablets, mobile devices, and we're able to then patch those remotely, as well as keep password policies on there. If for some reason those were to get stolen or lost, we could easily wipe those remotely so that data is not compromised. The police vehicle that you see there, that's representing the 404 police and fire vehicles. And both police and fire they're basically like little data centers, if you will. They have so much technology in them now. The trunk, there's absolutely nothing in the trunk but computer equipment in those vehicles. In the front, you have mobile data computers. And then you also have numerous antennas for GPS tracking, for cell coverage, for Wi-Fi coverage, for the radio, as well as cameras in the inside and outside of the vehicles, and triggers on speed, how fast they're going, all these different triggers if the door opens or it's closed. So they're just like little networks and data centers on wheels now. We manage 4,613 terabytes of data as of last month. Mostly on-prem, and slowly that's growing to go to the cloud as we start to do more cloud services. And then on the more on the application side, I just want to touch on a few. We have 1,000 online forms that we have for our employees, for internal and then public, and then as well as 71,752 workflows that were automated in the past 12 months, which is staggering. That could be anything from a workflow to approve an invoice or to get some sort of approval through travel reimbursement, anything like that, where it used to be a manual process, it's now automated, and that's just an example of the quantity. And at the top, the signature, in the last 12 months, we processed 23,000 digital signatures. So those were forms that before would have to be routed in paper. They're now being digitized and signed and routed that way. So I don't want to take too much of the time because I know that these gentlemen have also to speak, and they have a lot of great things to say, but I know finance is coming later on, so I just did want to do this one last plea to you all. Maybe you can ask finance that, hey, we see IT is doing a lot, all that digitizing, all that digital transformation that's happened over the last few years, it's really increased the workload for IT. So it's a good time to ask for budget, maybe some more employees, to continue that growth, because that is one of the biggest challenges that we have right now, is how do we sustain what's happening with technology and sustaining this growth within our department as workload starts to change from the departments to our department. So, little plug there for more money, yeah. Yeah, all right, well, let me bring on Mardul to talk about applications.
So the best part of my job is actually, I get to go meet the customer, which is our mostly internal customers, departments, and actually hear their challenges. Like if you think about a legislation coming out of the state or federal, and they're like, hey, how do I implement this? So I get to hear the problem and go back to the team and figure out, hey, let's figure out a technology solution to implement that. So all the digital transformation Darren was talking about, I get to do it, or my team get to do it. So all these keywords and technology, so I try to build a word cloud over here, trying to see all the things we do, like the permitting, digital signature, geographic representation of the data, and so on. The list goes on, actually. So, but today I only got like few minutes, so I'm going to just touch on like website, open data, the mass communication to the community, and search platform. So kind of give you guys a glimpse of what we provide to the community. In the last website redesign, when you think about website, that's where most of the community will go if they had to find some information. The first place they usually go to is to find, hey, where is that on the website? Unless you go to Google and end up in the city website. So recently we actually kind of restarted building the website, completely revamping, talking to the citizens to figure out, hey, what do they like to see on the website, and kind of building on based on a mobile-friendly approach, because we saw the stats and realized that almost 50% of a community is coming from a mobile device. So based on that, we completely rebuilt the website, and in the process of migrating, we have close to like 3,000 pages, like 6,500 documents to transition from the old system to the new system. So some of the screenshot you can see over here is the new design. By March of next year, we'll be completely transitioned over to the new platform. Now, if you go into it, the home pages and some pages you will see as the new website, and some links will go to the old website because they are not being transferred. Because we are taking this opportunity also to say, hey, should we rewrite all this content? Because it's written 5 years ago, 10 years ago, so it's a good opportunity for us to clean up also. So as you can see, like accessibility is a critical component now. We are making sure that every page going forward is accessible for the website. Then the navigation system, we built two styles now. Previously, it was more towards all employee-based designs, like you need to know the organization before you figure out where things are. Now, we did actually a card sorting exercise with public. So it's a survey-based stuff. We did it and kind of figure out what should be the top menu item, what should be the next level of menu item. So we did that, then mobile-friendly. How many of you guys, can you guess how many people hit our website on a daily basis? Anybody has an idea? 20,000 a day? Let's go up. 40,000 a day. That's how many people come to our website on a daily basis. So we get to monitor what pages they go in, what sub-pages we can map them through what path they took it so that we can figure out where they're dropping out of the website and things like that. So all these navigation systems are all based out of those kind of path they're taking and say, where are they dropping out and what information they are really getting or not getting and all that. So that's pretty big compared to like a standard website on a daily basis, okay? So that's one of our biggest project going on right now. The next is actually the open data. I think in 2012-13 time, it was a big initiative from Obama administration about making more transparent and putting a lot of data out for public to build applications. City launched their original open data portal around that same time, and we started publishing close to like 20, 30 data sets. So we're talking about employees' pay, contract information, business operation tax information, who is doing business in Sacramento, homeless information. So there's a lot of information if you go to that website. You will see those data. And those data are also categorized. There are applications built using the data. Then for developers in the community, we offer an API set. They can build custom application, their own application. So they can take data from city, county, state, and mash up data together and to build their own application. So we offer that service also part of it. Then if you go to that website, you realize that you're not able to see a particular set of data set, you have the opportunity to request for that data set also. So it goes through an internal review and approval process. So once city clerks and attorneys review it and say, yep, we can make it public, this set of data sets, we set up a process to integrate with our internal systems, make that data auto-publish. So those are also available. So those are like, so that's like data.cityofsacramento.org, okay? And this is mass communication. This is where people come in to city website and subscribe to the information, where they're like, I want to get newsletters from mayor and council, city manager's office. So there are a lot of categories of information where you can subscribe to get as an email or as a text message. We have 500,000 people subscribe to this. We send, I have a note somewhere, 60,000 email per day through that channel. So if you're interested to know what's happening in neighborhood services, you can go to the section and sign up for the email and just pick the topic you're interested in. So, and every time that department sends a newsletter, you will get email or text message, whichever channel you decide to pick, okay? So that's mass communication side on EMS and emails and search. Then there is a product, there is two platforms we publish, which is called search.cityofsacramento and records.cityofsacramento. One of the biggest challenge was what we noticed in the dashboards and analytical side of the website was people will come to city website and look for birth certificate. City does not issue birth certificate. So, and it will say no results found. And there was a lot of dead ends when people come to city website. They don't know the difference between is it a city issuing website or the county issuing the website, or they will look for property information, things like that. So what we decided was we built a search platform for regional Sacramento region, and it will index all information from city, state, county, and they search over there. It'll find information, and when you click on that link, it'll take you to the right source. So maybe to the county, to the state. So almost like a mini Google for Sacramento search. So that's what that site is. And the record website is only city records. Like if you are interested, go search. If you live in Sacramento, search your home address. Sometimes you will see your plans, approved plans from city. Sometimes, especially if you have an old house, you will see permits issued and all those kind of stuff. So that has almost close to 600,000 documents, city documents published out. These are all part of the transparency initiative from city. That's pretty much what I want to show. So that's search.cityofsacramento and records.cityofsacramento. And I also provided a bunch of links. These are interesting sites where like city's original, the primary website, data site. Okay, good, thank you. I'm getting warned by 10 minutes warning, I didn't know that. So yeah, so you can see actually a bunch of links here to different applications. Data is where the open data is, records is where a lot of documents are. Search is a platform I was talking about, that consolidated search platform. 311, Ivan is going to come and talk about 311. The PB system is where if you are a local business and you want to do business with city, this is the Planet Bid where you can submit a proposal for all the RFPs we are requesting out. The next gen is if you're looking for specific information, a public PRA request. Agency counter is actually, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so this is actually, if you want to see what's happening in your neighborhood, you can geographically see, go to this website and look for what development is happening in your neighborhood. So that's agency counter, and Granicus is for the streaming of the council meetings and all that. That's pretty much what I have.
Hi, everyone. How many people here have called 311 or submitted 311 request through the app or emailed us? All right, it's pretty much everybody. It looks like about 90% of you guys raised your hand. Our goal is basically to make it easy for residents, businesses, and visitors to access city services. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year, including holidays. A lot of people don't know that. If you have a hard time getting through to us during the daytime, it's because a lot of people think we're only open, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, so everybody calls us during that time. So that's kind of like our peak hours. But if you call a little bit later in the evening or earlier in the morning, you probably get through a lot quicker, or even better, just use the mobile app or our web portal online as well. A little bit of history, 311 became 311 in 2008. Before that, it was a city operator. There was probably about 4 or 5 operators at that time, and their job was mainly to get people to the right department. So they were kind of routing calls as they were coming in. And since then, it's kind of grown. We now have 33 customer service agents and about 7 support staff. That's like the team lead, supervisors, admin analysts, and myself. And as Darren mentioned earlier, it's a total of 40. So we're a small but mighty team. As you'll see in the next slide, some of the numbers. We process a ton of requests every day. We receive in upwards of 1,000 calls a day, sometimes 1,200. And if there's a storm or some kind of event that is unplanned for, that number can skyrocket. As I mentioned, we do have multiple ways to connect. The app, our online portal, you can call us, email 311@cityofsacramento. And we support most major city departments. And we also dispatch. That's another function that a lot of folks are not aware of. But for priority calls, we have 3 dispatch stations that we man. Animal care services, for example, is one that we dispatch for. We also dispatch parking enforcement. We dispatch for recycling and solid waste. So we have folks on the radio that are kind of radioing out to the field crews when there's something, that's of importance that needs to get addressed ASAP. A little bit of numbers for you here. Phone calls serviced by 311 agents. This is last fiscal year. 274,145. So total service requests, almost 500,000. So that's a really small team to process all of these. We review pretty much all of the requests to make sure that they're going to the right department, because a lot of the times it can be kind of weird and tricky on, whether it's a parking issue or a code enforcement issue. So our staff does the best they can to make sure that they're categorizing it appropriately if it came in under a different category and getting it to the right place. We've grown the number of requests that are coming in through our online and our mobile app from about like 15 to 20% to like 40%. So it almost doubled in the last 5 years. And we're hoping, to make it a lot easier to submit requests using your mobile device in the future. So that's something that one of the benefits that I have working with IT is I get to work with Merdul and tell him, hey, Merdul, we need this and we need that. And he does a great job of supporting us. But we're always looking at ways to improve the service that we're providing, and really just want to make it as easy as possible to report issues. As I'll show you guys a little bit in the next slide here, our top calls that we get, recycling and solid waste is our biggest customer. So it makes sense because if you think about it, they're servicing households every single week, right? So there's a lot of points for things to go wrong. So we get a lot of calls about, missed service, somebody's garbage can was missed, or it could be a damaged container, their wheel broke off or their lid and it needs to be replaced. Scheduled junk pickups is another big one that we routinely get. So folks calling in that pay for services can schedule to have a junk pickup. There's 2 junk pickups in a calendar year that could be scheduled. Code enforcement, animal care, and homeless concerns make up about 10% of all of our call volume. Those are kind of like the next 3. And then finally, parking enforcement. Those are the kind of our top 5. There's actually one that I didn't put in here, which is kind of our other category, because it's really kind of everything else that falls under there. We get calls sometimes about stuff that's not really city related because folks, they don't know any different. So they may call us about an issue that maybe it's regional transit or maybe it's Caltrans that handles it. Or they might just have like a general question about something that doesn't necessarily fall under like a department. And so that's kind of our second top call, to be honest. But I didn't put it in here just because it's so random. It could be a ton of different things that fall under that other category. So I'll go to the next slide here to talk a little bit about what we're doing with artificial intelligence and self-service. So recently, in the last, what's it been, 2 years, we implemented Google Dialogflow, which is basically like a chatbot. We're using it on our phone system to kind of gather some information before we transfer over to a live agent if needed. It has integration with geographic information systems, or GIS, so it's verifying addresses before it gets to our agent. And the reason we did that is because the county has their own 311 as well. And a lot of the folks would get through on our 311 for a county address. They sit there and wait, however long to get to one of our agents just to find out they need to get transferred to the county because we can't help them. By verifying their address ahead of time using the virtual agent, we're able to transfer them before they get into our queue. And just that alone has been a huge help. We usually transfer anywhere between like 3,700 to 4,000 calls every month to other departments. So in addition to being able to transfer to county, it also transfers to like SMUD, for example. If somebody says they're calling about a power outage, the city doesn't, do anything with the light, right? That's all SMUD. So we can transfer directly to them. We transfer to other city departments if they're calling about a police issue, or it could be like a revenue, they want to make a payment, and things like that. So we're also looking to offer more self-service options. We currently have piloted reporting a dead animal or abandoned vehicles. We're looking at offering self-service options for solid waste, since that's kind of our biggest call driver. If we could allow folks to schedule their junk pickups or report missed service using the virtual agent, that will free up our agents to handle a lot more complex issues that aren't as simple transactions. So that's kind of my quick overview of 311. I know we'll have some time for questions. I'll let Darren talk about the last slide. I think we have about 2 or 3 minutes left.
So again, just thank you for allowing us to be here. And any questions, you can go to the website and get a hold of us there. There's my email address.